Hey everybody, we're just going to be going over some gameplay. I am currently moving up the ladder right now, and I was brewing some decks, some Azorius decks, and I got sort of in a snag. I was definitely trying to emulate Covert Go Blue's Azorius deck that he made a run with last season, and I tried to make it into snow, and it just wasn't really happening. It wasn't converting, especially against the Sultai deck that's really strong right now. I see most of that, probably 50% of the decks right now, and I think this is one of those instances here. I've definitely wanted to brew something new because I definitely in this last season, and I was really close to the top 1200. I kind of petered out at the end. Actually got up to probably towards about 4 days left. I was in the top 200, and I kind of got kind of went back to a Simic deck, a Simic food deck, and I kind of played my way out of the 1200 and wasn't really able to come back. But this deck is really good. This Izzet deck that works off of the basically the main components are the Royal Scion Riddle forms and then the adventure cards. I work in some Chrome Wars, and then we've really beefed this deck up with the Faceless Havens and the Frostbites. Um, and the Goldspan Dragon. So this deck is really updated and it's really operating at a high level right now. So I hope you enjoy the session that we're going to be watching here today. So yeah, we're sort of at getting our Scion beefed up right now, and that's really going to be what we're going to be our prime means of taking out these control decks is making them come up for an answer for the Scion, because once it rips for its ultimate, they are going to be in a real bad position. So right now I have my Haven going right there. Likely we'll get out our Crusher. Okay, and we'll get out our Brazen Borrow too. I had a feeling that he was going to probably remove something there. That's probably why I didn't go for the Bone Crusher at the moment. Wanted to put some mana to some use there. All right, so now we'll get out. Go for a little damage here. Really, I think what we were looking for at this point is just a negate. I have 2 in my deck, and that's why I am sort of going on the looking for answers at this point. I am narrating over this, so I can't really exactly remember what my mode is for over some of these plays, but usually I'm locked in and ready to fight it out. But yeah, we saw that he did take out the giant right there, and he took a 2 additional damage. Actually, took out the Faceless Haven. So they're ramping up pretty good, but they have definitely ignored the Scion. And if they don't have the, I believe, what is it, that 4 mana play, the Binding Gods. That's the card. It's great, but you can see they had a Yorion play, and that was it. So this is going to be a bad position. I pick up the negate too, which is fantastic. Go off for the ultimate here. It's just an incredible amount of damage. I would probably see. Looks like I have an option for a Goldspan Dragon, but probably a Chrome War. I'm not sure though what I did here. So many options. Okay, so I went for the Goldspan Dragon. No problem. Oh, and then I bounced for the win. Awesome. Yeah, this was a great game. Comes down to a card sometimes. Yep, they were down to 7, and that was game. I'm watching on a smaller screen while I'm narrating, so I can't exactly see. But yeah, that was a really nice sequence right there. See, they missed out on the Binding of the Old Gods. They could have taken out our Scion, and they could have played for a little bit longer. But I feel like I'd probably still be able to win that game with the Negate and play in the Brazen Borrower on board. We'd be able to bounce the Yorion another time if we wanted to. So this is looking like a really nice draw right here. I have some definitely good options in my hand to play. Let's see here. Yeah, really nice on the play. Really nice tempo here. Amicable, or they think I'm mono red, so they're saying hello. We'll never know. Okay, so we got the rogues in this matchup. This is going to be a-okay. We're going to be able to Frostbite, which is probably the best snow card for red, other than gold. Well, I consider Goldspan Dragon almost snow because it's from Kaldheim. But the Frostbite is so good, taking out Rune Crabs, Dot Thieves. So many targets. So many targets. So that's an easy stomp right there. Rogues, man, I feel if you're playing Rune Crab Rogues, you're not doing it right. And I do have a good rogue deck that I'll link in my video called Demir Berserker, and has no Rune Crabs in it. And I actually play a new Kaldheim called card Demir Berserker or Bloodsky Berserker, and I love that card too. I have 2 copies of that in that rogue deck, and it's much more so. And I think this Rune Crab deck, it is definitely a control deck, and I don't think it can really survive this meta anymore. It's just too fast. Alright, so we're looking, yeah, we're going to take out the crab. Can't let those hang out for too long. And probably looks like we're going to get the borrower going, it looks like here. Nothing really to bounce, nothing really too important. Okay, I think I bounced this just because I wanted to keep my Bone Crusher alive. And they could not replay it because they have 2 islands. So they're going into full control mode now. They're already like sacking their Wind Robber at this point. And they take 4. When you start putting damage on a rogue player, it's bad for them. Do it as frequently as possible because they're not going to be gaining any life throughout the game unless they plague or lure us out. But really, that's their only method of gaining life. So they have to take 4 more now because they think they have to get 4 new fresh cards. And so I missed a land drop. It's kind of unfortunate. So the play is likely to just keep the pressure on. I have 2 methods of killing things. I have the Frostbite. He goes with a Fabled Passage, I recall here. So they're going to get a couple mills in and decide if they want to counter the spell or not. But isn't it great? Isn't that Frostbite great? That card is just so good. Before, there wouldn't be an answer for that Rune Crab, but I've already taken 2 out with it just by playing Snow. See, you have to think if they fight over this Rune Crab, that is like a great result. So they go for the Heartless Act. And if they hit no, I think they might go to no further plays here, and then it looks like the Brazen Borrower's coming. Okay, we got an Ox. Interesting. I have a pretty loaded hand right now. So my turn. Here comes a borrower. So we're definitely looking for a gold for a mountain at this point. A mountain would be great, and I can stomp the beautiful card right there. So I can bring out the dragon, and I can stomp the shit out of the guild enforcer. And they take 7. It's just like a thing of beauty, man. Really. Now we do have to keep in mind I was on the play, so I do have the advantage. But even so, what are they at now? They're at 3. They're in a real bad place right now. Yeah, and they just have nothing. They have nothing. I just don't. I don't understand why you'd play that garbage anymore. Just rune crabs are just not feasible anymore with the frostbites out there anymore. They're just not a good play. It's just over, man. You you really have to play like a balanced game in best of one. You have to have a lot of different threats. You should have planeswalkers. You should have saga cards. And unless you're playing extremely aggro road deck, I don't I don't think you're having any chance in these top tier decks to going against them. So the thing about this deck is that obviously like any multicolored deck, your weakness is going to be mana. And this is a very splashable deck. The only cards that have more than two sources are the Ox, the Goldspan Dragon, and the Brazen Borrower. We're not really going to be playing the Brazen Borrower as a threat. It's more for the bounce. So we're usually going to be okay. But if we have the issue is going to be sort of those early splashable cards like Bone Crushers, Royal Scion. Um, if we get screwed with blue mana only or red mana only for a couple turns, we could have some problems. So I've actually I think I've improved this deck a little bit more even since this video. The thing what I've done is I noticed is I was getting a little too much bounce with the Brazen Borrower, and I to address the um, mana issue. I've picked up an additional Glimpse of Cosmos, what I think is just a fantastic card for this deck. It just fits the curve really well, and it can help find some lands if I need them that are just really important to keep the tempo going. So we're playing mono red here, and I believe we were on the draw for this game. But like you guys just saw, we just took out a Bone Crusher with Frostbite. So I mean, no further plays. You want to keep creatures off the board with mono red so that the threat of Embercleave becomes more expensive for them. So this is a perfectly fine play to destroy the Fireblade Charger. So we're pretty much right in control right now. We have 4 mana available, looks like. Yeah. So I think we were contemplating playing the Bone Crusher, but we were probably afraid of a Frostbite. They had a lot of mana opened up. So we just said go to them at this point. Couple options to do with an annex. With a Goldspan Dragon, it was kind of easy. I had my Soul Seer available, so that was kind of an easy play. That wasn't a big deal. So yeah, Mono Red doesn't play Soul Seer, and they're going to probably have to start picking those up in their deck to address the Goldspan Dragon if they want to keep up. But Mono Red's going to keep doing what they do, and it's kind of a no-brainer for them just to not really deviate from their paradigm. But I would try to probably try to find some Soul Seers in their deck to address some of these bigger creatures that are coming up from the new set. So there's Frostbite, and they have Frostbited me. Okay, looks like that was an easy Frostbite as well. We're going to hit that before the instant speed, so they only get one token. And I think we're going to be looking for a land so that we could Goldspan Dragon and kill the robber. That would be ideal. Okay, negate. Bone Crush the robber. No further plays. Okay, so we're just looking for a land now so we can get our dragon going. And we'll be pretty much going pretty good with our bounce. We have a lot of bounce options. And they're very low on cards. So the Embercleave here, and that was the easy negate. Just sayonara. Oof, it's brutal for them. Brutal game. So now the Goldspan comes out and we're locked and loaded. But yeah, I do like the CGB deck that he put out today, and sort of restored my faith in the Azorius. I was trying to like tinker with his deck that he had that push with later in the season, and I wanted to try to put some Crawling Barons in there, but I noticed that that deck is just, it's so brutal with the 3 drops. A lot of them like necessitate like the Skyclave Apparition. You need to have 2 planes to play that deck. To play the Teferi, you have to have two islands to play that card. You need to be like heavy mana. It's very hard to play any type of extra lands that don't really have any other function other than providing colorless mana or some effect later on. So I was really excited to see his Archon deck today that he put out. I thought that was really refreshing because I was losing faith in that Azorius, and he found a really good outlet for that Nico. Found a good use for it. That's why he gets the big bucks. Alright, so I think we're 2-0 now. Maybe 3-0. But this was a good session, all in all. This was like a really good session to showcase the Izzet powers. It's funny, like you want to keep up with all these new decks that come out, but like you only have so many wild cards too. So it is true. Like try to find a deck that you like to play and that's successful, and then when you kind of like want to try new things, go for it. And don't expect like the greatest seasons, but just try things out. You'll become a better Magic player, learn about new cards, and you'll be able to sort of see their weaknesses and their strengths. But I feel like the Royal Scion is definitely a very powerful card. And I don't see enough people playing it. I just cannot believe how many seasons I have played, and I don't really see this card like being played really that much, and it's so good against these control decks. I mean, it is like if they don't have an answer, like what we're really looking for is like an eliminate. Um, these that's a great card to deal with planeswalkers, small planeswalkers. You don't see that card every day, but I definitely play that in my rogue deck. I play that over Heartless Act because I'm such an aggro deck that I want to have some answers for some of the other things too. But this you'll see this. this game is the jankiest game you'll ever see. This deck is so jank that it is beyond janky, and you will see the jank powers it has. It is kind of obnoxious. But hey, I appreciate the creativity, and I actually have seen this deck twice today. I saw it later today after I did this video, and it had actually like an immolator in it too. So I mean, it can get pretty beef pretty quick. I think that's the whole point, is to be able to beef it up and then sack it for a lot of damage. But yeah, all in all, this deck just revolves around this and its mutatability, plus another card which allows it to retrieve more mana production. It's one of the newer cards. So yeah, we took control of this. It was just time to control. I didn't have another answer for it at the time. I do play one Witch's Oven in this deck, which actually gets really handy. Like with the times I do draw, I just don't want to draw more than one in a game. So I would have this one up of the Witch's Oven in the deck. But it is effective to have that with your Crone War. I think they play another one of this Rodon, and now you'll see, I think, the combo with this here. Okay, so there's that. They like create 4 mana from the 3, bring out their flying guy, and they have a lot of floating mana. They mutate, and then they bring out that card again. They replay it. They get 4 mana floating again. And then watch, they mutate this thing again. It's insane. So now they've mutated that. They bounce back here. And they are able to replay it again. I'm pretty sure they mutated with something else again. Yeah. Under. So there's no legend rule. They play it again. Am I losing life at this point? I think I am. Every time it mutates, I think I have that Hemophage does some damage. No. So that was it. So what do we do now? Oh, I go off for my ultimate. Oh yeah, I kill it. Did I kill it? No, I think I had the Brazen Borrower. So, or something. I had some sort of answer for it. Oh yeah, I have a Frostbite. So I didn't have to kill it with the Royal Scion. So many cards. Oh, the little Goldspan Dragon. Get into attack. I think we're going to kill it first. And then we'll attack. I think I get a Riddle form down now. For that extra mana. So this video will definitely be posted alongside the Aether Hub deck that I have posted for this. And I hope you enjoy watching in action. This is going to be basically the deck you play. It's actually going to be a little bit of improvement because I'm going to lose a Borrower, and I'm going to add a Glimpse of the Cosmos. It's just definitely, I think in the next game you'll see why, because we get kind of mana screwed. Alright, we're going to probably bring out another dragon here. Yep. I suppose I could have got the Riddle form out there right there too to attack with, but I kind of missed that. That was a mistake. I came back. Well, missed out on that, but this looks like a fatal. But hey, man, it's such a janky deck, you know? Well, yeah, who knows with this thing? You can do anything, right? Could they really do 14 damage to me? Anything's possible, but I don't know if that's possible. No. No, it wasn't to be this time. Oh, lots of cards. Lots of cards. Okay. So, what do we do now? Bounce. Bounce. And that's just a lot of damage. Get the GG. So yeah, this next game I really want to look at because I need to figure out what went wrong. And I think I've addressed it by putting another glimpse and losing a borrower. Because it's so important to have the mana I need to play all the cards in my deck. So, opponent goes first. I'm on the draw, and I think I've decided I'm going to go blue at this point, hitting the borrower. See, so this is kind of like where a glimpse of the cosmos would have been really nice instead of that borrower, because I could have taken my second turn to get a red mana, because I'm going to fish for it and I'm going to find it. Instead, I get a faceless haven, and I mean, this game is a mess from here on out. I'm telling you. And this deck is the deck I'm playing against is strong already. Okay, babe. Thank you. Yeah, I mean this ultimatum deck is just a bruiser, and I feel my deck is set up pretty well against it to be playing to really go head to head with it, toe to toe. So we pick up a tap land here, and we have really nothing to play. It's really just would be wouldn't be smart to bounce back one of their scry and draw cards there. The Omen of the Sea would not be prudent. Okay, so all right, so we're actually not looking too bad now. Kind of stabilized actually. This was a close game, I recall, but I just think that I lost a little bit of tempo in like probably the first couple turns. Like activating the riddle form with a stomp would have been ideal, and that play kind of gotten was basically stopped because I was not really coordinated with my mana. I think I bounced this. I think I just wanted to hit as hard as I could. gotta do the damage when you can do the damage, you know? Probably could have accrued wore that, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think maybe the accruing one would have been probably a better play there. It would have had the bounce for whatever the heck they sent out next. Don't really want to bounce a Yorion though. Yeah, this game was just a mess, to be honest. I'm pretty much there just playing around with me too. Like once I got him down to like, I think I got him down to like 1 life. Then they're just messing with me, doing all their gizmos and gadgets. Not a bad accruing war target, to be honest with you. Not the worst. A flyer, 4/5 flyer. I do believe I made a big mistake with a faceless haven. I wasn't very patient. And you'll see it. They Erebos intervention it. I probably could have just sat back and had them do it to their own. Who knows? And yeah, this was looking really kind of nice here, but you can see they definitely have ultimatum mana here. And you can't really do too much about it. So yeah, it's very short on mana this game. The Cosmos would have definitely have helped me out a lot. So I think their choices are the usual suspects. And they definitely let them have a Tibble. Yeah, let them have a Tibble and whatever the other thing is. Shark Typhoon. Didn't even look too nasty. It could have been nastier, really. So I don't want them to have the extra turn. Pretty much dead set on not having them have that. So they get a Tibble and a Shark Typhoon. And that was definitely my demise. So they'll take that out there. Yeah, if I had a land on this next play, I would have been able to Bone Crash and Faceless Haven. I was just like praying for a land. It's like, land, please. Land me. And it was a shock. And he's at 7, I think. So that was a good game for us here. We didn't really have a chance there. It was sort of a letdown. Going back at him too. 3. Yeah. Yep. I missed out on a mountain again. I really got it all set up there, huh? Just had to get an extra mountain for a shock and a bone crush to the face. I've been all over. So yeah, this is when he discards the 2 cards and fetches for something. Made us a shark. So it's got it pretty good. feel like probably at this point he has some removal in his hand still, and I should have just been bone crushing his head right now. Okay, that makes sense. Probably should have held back. Yeah, I did. No reason to put that riddle form out there. So this is when they find an Arabo intervention. They had a nice wish board there, and they made the right play. So there's Omen. They make a shark. I think I bounced the Shark Typhoon. I thought that was actually a really good play at this point. Because I feel like if they had the All Drawn Epiphany in their hand, they would have been able to do a lot of damage to me with that card in an extra turn. So that's why I bounced it right here. And you're like, well, how can they get out of this now? They find a way. Looking back, if I bounced the Fae, would they have had enough mana to wishboard and have a viable Arabo intervention on their own shark? So here we go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they still would have been able to live. And I definitely flubbed the next play. I probably should have just definitely got like something on the board like a Bone Crusher and then said go. Or I could even have axed one of their, no, yeah. It just didn't go my way this game. Yeah. Yeah, I should have definitely, should have shot face. And then they could have, I still wouldn't have been able to get in the kill at that time, but I could have probably gotten it in eventually. So I made a big mistake here. Went for the Haven. And they just airborne invention that. It was just the stupidest play I've ever made. It really was just god awful. It really was the worst. Well, looking back, it was. At the time, I thought it was really great and dandy, but I think like the moment I tapped that blue mana, I knew I'd made a mistake. I was like, oh, I think you messed this one up terribly. Yeah, it was awful, everybody. This was an awful game. Went face, he would have had to sack his one of his sharks for certain. He wouldn't have had like really any mana to play, and I could have brought in a borrower and not lost the land. It was so dumb. But hey, we're all humans here, and you learn from your playing. Yeah, and at this point, I'm pretty sure they had a million chances to kill me off, but they ended up just sort of just punishing me, I guess you would say. Yeah, you could see they're just replaying and bouncing their Fae. Like, this game's over, dude. And somehow I find like a gold span dragon now. I totally with a borrower and the gold span out there instead of that rubbish play I made the last turn. This game would have been different. But yep. Heartless Act probably. Heartless Act, yeah. Brutal. I think eventually once I think the Tibble goes off for the ultimate, I'm pretty sure I just resign this game. Yeah, not my best moment. He had an emergent ultimatum like available. I guess he didn't have anything great to play, or he's just messing with me. Probably the latter. Okay, Shark Typhoon again. There's just no way I can come back in this game. It's just absolutely over. He uses one of my glimpses. I think I was just kind of sour at this point. I, I don't even think I noticed that I had the Glimpse of Cosmos open right there. Because I'm just so steamed right now. Yeah, and he gained even more life there. The cling. Yeah, I think his Tibble goes off now for his ultimate. Yeah, that's nice. Takes my glimpse too. So good. Yeah, that was had enough. uh, but this deck is definitely like top 1200 worthy. I have been, like I said, I've been trying out some Azoria stuff, and didn't really like that. I definitely didn't have a great experience, but we can see like some of the big brains. They can definitely put things together and find ways to make these cards work. And I was really happy to see that strong Azorius deck today. You should check that video out too. It's really cool. Really cool to see the interaction between the Nico and the Archons, and the just the Yorion flavor, man. So it's always a good deck, everybody. Always a good deck to go that way. Definitely. That'd probably be like the best way to play control. I like this Genocidal Ultimatum deck too. It's going around. I definitely think it's definitely in the top tier. But there's other stuff to play too, man. There's other stuff like this Izzet Snow deck, and I'm sure the people who try this out are having fun with it too. And winning. So everything is on board here. Everything was looking a-okay. So right now they're gonna go out and take out the riddle form. And the moment they do that, they spend the mana on that. I'm gonna take out their other Wind Robber. So that was sort of a board clearing turn for everybody. So the play will be to get the Bone Crusher out. I think. Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. Next turn I could have a glimpse. Get the glimpse going. Okay, so they just countered that. Interesting, huh? And now look, the rogue player has to play 3 mana for the of 1 mind. And it just hurts them. It just hurts so bad. Okay, we're going to fetch some blue mana here. Are we going to get the riddle form down? Yes. Most definitely. So you can see, even though I'm commentating this, everything makes sense still. It's like riding a bicycle. Just know what you're going to do. Yeah, I remember this game. They're just fetching for cards. That card is so expensive. You guys think about it. If you don't get the payoff for that card, it's just a blow. It just is a blow to your psyche because you are spending 3 mana for 1 card. Think about it. You have to put that card in your deck. You have to draw it. Then you have to pay mana to basically cycle it for 2 other cards, and it costs 3 mana. It's just not a good deal. But if you check out my Dimir Berserker deck, it is a good deal because I play the proper amount of non-creatures to creatures in that deck, or humans to non-humans, and really get it going. But hey, not everyone plays this style, man. People are still caught up on the rune crap. Alright, we're bouncing. We're bouncing the Lurrus for certain. For certain. Okay, here comes one rubber. Bounce. I think that we could replay it at this moment, which is fine, but they're spent now. Okay, should we replay that land? I wonder, because I think we want to... Okay, we're getting aggro here. I was getting all aggro. Dang, man. Okay. Ooh, yeah, I got the glimpse. That's cool. I like the aggro play. I'm gonna do a lot of damage right now. Makes sense. Get some refresh on our cards. Yeah, so I would put the mana on the the trample damage on the flyer. I prefer the flyer 95% of the time. But since they have a Lurrus on the bottom end, I want to prevent any life link that they can get from blocking or trading. So they have a big Agadeem's Awakening right now. I remember, like, wow, like it was kind of imposing, like kind of a blow onto the board. It's like, what do we do now? But this deck is really resilient, and I'm probably pretty certain that this guy thought, oh yeah, everything is good. Everything is good right now, but okay, so the Academia Awakening is coming next turn. Alright, so we're going to get our riddle form to go. And it resolves. To the story. Wow, and we get the Haven coming out. Isn't this deck cool, guys? Come on, you know this is the bomb deck. Is anyone playing it? Maybe a couple people. I always liked the Sprite Dragon, but he lost his zeal, man. He lost his zeal when all these really good value cards started coming out, like Bloodchief's Thirst. When that came out in Zendikar, I think Sprite Dragon kind of left the door, in my opinion. So I've been moving away from him and definitely trying to find like different ways to keep the Izzet going. And So the main components of this Izzet deck, which makes it strong, is the fact that it plays Planeswalkers, it plays Riddle Farm, which isn't a board card. It's off the board. It's off the creature board. So it's very hard to remove. And I think if we go for a refresher, yeah, I'm fine with that. Even though I probably could have played the borrow in the Riddle form, I think that's fine. We just go to the face there, and I get to attack as well. Okay, so the guild, there's an enforcer. So yeah, there's no sprite dragons in this deck. Actually saw a CGB. Looks like he has a new deck with sprite dragon in it, and he's a crazy man, and he's got some new cards in there. See if it works. I'm sure it will work to a degree. But sprite dragon for me is it's just too fragile. It's too expensive. Especially now Frostbite is out too. That card just wrecks. So you see they had a huge awakening right there. I'm gonna take the Luris right now. That was the plan. And then I have the Royal Scion. I could have played another Riddle form. I was debating that. This game was so close. This game was just impossibly close. But I just decided to go for the flying damage at this point. And to just go in with the Ox. Yeah. But they're at 6, and I think they made a kind of mistake because they didn't realize that the Riddle form had trample. So that's one of the things that are going to be important, like for your Magic games, is like the opponent making mistakes. So this was definitely a mistake on their part. They could have definitely absorbed a lot of damage with their Wind Robber and their Thought Thief, and maybe found another Agadeem's Awakening, but they just decide to chump with the Wind Robber, and they end up taking 5. The trample damage just doesn't care if you chump, it just goes right through. So there's the chump block, and it just hits the face. So they're at 1 now, and still a close game. I do have the activation of the Ox, so I had to look through my library because they sort of forced my hand here, and they actually Lul Mage their own Luris. So I looked through my deck, and I saw I have 12 cards left, I think, at this point. And I'm in a kind of a bad position, to be honest with you right now. Not the greatest, not the best, but not the worst either. I'm feeling like I need to win by next turn, or else they're gonna mill me out. Like easily. So I look through my graveyard and I see that all my shocks have been basically discarded. I have I have one Bone Crusher though left. So we're gonna just take a look in there, and before I just throw that down, I want as many chances as possible to get it. So I'm just counting how many Bone Crushers I have in there, how many shocks I have, that are in the graveyard. I have 3 Shocks in my deck and 4 Bone Crushers. So there's 1 Bone Crusher, 2, 3. So I have a Bone Crusher in the deck. And basically, if I play an Ox out right now, if I do find another mountain, I can go for another Ox. They have only black mana available, so they have no counter spells. So if I can find a something to the face, I will win the game. So we end up getting really lucky here and drawing 3, and we find some good outs there, but that's really all we needed was the face damage, and that was a great game. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, everybody, and go check out my decks. My handle is Titanovix, and I've been playing for about 2 years now. Cheers.